Hello everyone. Good afternoon. How are you boys and girls? Hope you're good. I'm good. It's a nice Saturday afternoon and we're gonna do some more game development. Why not? Why not? So just to remind you what we are doing, we are actually working on the improvement of the character creation, and let me close this one, which was another thing. Okay, so we are working on the improvement of the character creation screen. We did some improvement on the character selection yesterday and the previous days, and now we are doing the one for the character creation. Basically today the character creation is very minimal and simple, so it's not really doing what the old game was doing, which is pity, and so we want to expand it and improve it. The first thing we want to do is to be sure that the server is sending out the traits, meaning all the customization possibilities on our character after the request of the client. So we are basically working on this one, and sorry, I switched to something else. Okay. And the way we want to do it is to ensure that the client is requesting the traits as soon as the character creation starts, and after that the server answers with the list of traits. Now this is not very easy because actually when I was looking at the code, yeah, we have some structures. Actually, we have some structures available to hold our traits, and in particular we have two structures. One which is called race definition, and is defining basically all the information for one particular race and one particular gender, and then he has an array of what is called PS traits, and this array is holding all the changes that you can do. So the material, the mesh, the texture, the location. So for example, location can be face, hair, or beard, and so on. And also is having the capability in the structure to keep the let's say the sequence of traits that are connected to each other, because sometimes you have like one skin. Let's imagine for the cran you are changing the base skin, so all his body has to change color, and this means that in this case you're going to change the texture of the torso, of the arms, of the hands, of the legs, of the feet, and so on. So this is what is called a linked trait. So you have a number of traits which are linked to each other, and we do it with this technique of just keeping the UID connected, okay? Which is fine. Now the point is we need to have a structure holding this in the proper way. So I have converted, and also this structure have to be ready for remote function calls, which means that we need them to be Unreal Engine objects. In fact, you see I have updated the structure to be ustruct, okay, and U stands for Unreal, obviously, and is meaning there is an object that Unreal is able to manage also inside blueprints. It's able to manage it everywhere, including blueprints. So what is the point? The point is that we should ensure that this new code compiles properly, At the moment we are still having some errors, but it could be that, yes, in our code we still have some places where PS traits is actually called still the old way, because if it's a struct, we need to add this f, at the beginning, and so that is the point. So let me recompile this and see if we manage to get these traits compiled. I already did some changes offline, so I actually went a bit forward while I was not streaming. I didn't do much, but at least I reasoned on the whole structure and which kind of variable types I was in need of and such. So I think we can go directly now to the coding. I hope it compiles. Let's see. It's a change on Planeshift player controller in this case, so it's taking more time for compilation due to that. We are streaming at the same time on Twitch and on YouTube. So if you are watching from Twitch, I can tell you that there is also YouTube available, and YouTube is actually keeping all the videos there. It's keeping all the videos available. Okay, we're still failing. Yeah, I guess there is still some problems. I think we may have an FPS, so let's just search for PS trait everywhere, because I think we still have some instances of this. Yes, we still have a number of instances. Now, where is this? Is in PS character. So I think all of this we need to change. All of this I think we need to change and adapt the code. Yeah, there were, so the problem is there were actually two objects referring to a trait. One was a struct and the other was a class. One was server side and the other was client side. Now the problem is that now we want to merge, these two. I would like to merge these two because I don't think it makes any sense to keep two set of different information. And so what I would like to do, I would like to yes, all of them should become FPS trait. Now it will definitely have some impact on the code, so it may mess up our code quite a bit, but I think we need to do this change no matter what. So I think I will just go through all the instances of this and we change them all. I could even do just a global change. Unfortunately, I think it will affect a lot. So we will get a lot of errors as a result. But there is not much else I can do. We need this change. Should I do a global modification? Make texture string? Yeah, some of this function anyway we will completely remove. I think is not needed anymore. I think the class that is now loading the traits may freak out because we changed the type, and so it will probably not load properly. But we will see. I think I could just do a current project and just do a replace all. I know I know it may mess up stuff, but you see there were 4 more somewhere else. So let's try to recompile now that I changed the type and see what happens. But I think this change will take us a bit, mainly because there are these two different classes that are getting merged. Okay, it's compiling. Unfortunately, we will have some downtime just to, just to wait compilation. Okay. Yeah, here I was just starting to implement something, but then I stopped. Oh wow, yeah, that is a mistake. Obviously, the includes should not be changed to FPS traits. Okay, it's failed again. Yeah, I think that the structure we don't need anymore. We can remove the destructors really for this class. We don't need it. I'm just a bit concerned about all these strings, which I have no idea why we have. I think it's because in the old game we had in the XML 3D files we had some reference to these strings, right? Okay, succeeded. Oh, that's very nice. Okay, really? Wow. Okay, succeed. I was expecting more resistance actually from this changing them all at the same time. Was definitely expecting more resistance. Okay, well that's good. So what I was about to do was to inside handle traits check. I mean, handle traits is the function we're gonna call from the client to request for the list of traits, right? And this will be actually in our player controller base. I think I already added the function. Let me check. Character creation. Yes, it's here. Request character creation traits is exactly this one. Okay, so which now we may implement. We may implement, and so in our plane shift player controller CPP. I don't know if I want to organize them alphabetically or whatever, but I think we can just put it randomly here. I don't think they have any specific order actually. So we can just implement it like this, and so inside of this, what we need to call our creation manager handle traits. So this is the guy we need to call. Now for char creation manager, I think we already have a global pointer to it. Let me see, but I'm pretty sure we have it. Hopefully, yes, it's called char creation manager. So pretty simple. So we will just call from our PlaneShift player controller. We will call just the character creation manager, And then we want to call the handle traits. If IntelliSense can look at that. Okay. Is it doing it or no? It's so slow. Wait a second. First of all, I did a small mistake here, and so maybe that's why it's not. Anyways, handle traits. Okay, we can take it by hand. Is this one? Okay. Now this handle traits though add some information here, which at the moment is no more relevant to us. The only thing that is relevant for us is the actual APS character, which is. Yeah, I lost my internet for like 1 minute. It happens sometimes. It happens 2 or 3 times a day, unfortunately. So, but I'm back. Let me just double check that everything is up again. Okay, everything seems to be up for me now. I don't know if it's up for you, but if you can tell me if you see me live, that would be good. The YouTube is not loading up. Maybe the Twitch is loading. 1 second. I'm just trying to understand. Yes, the Twitch is loading. Definitely loading. The YouTube is, I don't know, it's not really happy about the crash. Okay, let me restart the... Like if nothing had happened, actually my connection went down, everything went down, and yeah, and I have to restart the stream. So I will do just a short introduction because I think I will delete the previous piece, and hopefully it will work now. I hope it will. So what we are doing, boys, is to work on the character creation and character selection. Can someone in YouTube tell me, please, if I'm live or no? Because I cannot see the YouTube live on my side for some reason. It's just not working. But I can see Twitch up and running. I can see Twitch up, but it seems that YouTube is having some issues. I mean, it's saying I'm live, but then I cannot see the stream. But anyway, so we are improving the character creation. Okay, so this is what we are doing, and in particular, I was working on some functions that will send from client to server the traits, so the list of available traits for each race. So this is what I'm doing, and in particular, I changed this function to be compatible with our new signature, which is this. Now in the player controller we are gonna call these handle traits, and we can do it exactly like for all the other function. I still keeping this debug printout because I like to know you know that where we are in terms of debug. We get the pawn, we cast the pawn, we pass the pawn, and I think that will be it. Okay, good. I cannot see myself in YouTube. I don't know why. Okay. I'm recompiling and saying, let me just ask someone if they can. I see it only on Twitch for some reason. To me, it's just looping, you know? It's just looping like if it's not transmitting anything, which is a bit annoying. It's a bit concerning, actually. It's like if it's not finding the stream. I don't know. Maybe it's only a problem on my side, but I can see perfectly the Twitch, but I cannot see the YouTube for some reason. Anyway, okay, we recompiled, success. Nice. So now, if we call this function the request character creation traits, this will call our creation manager. Our creation manager will call this one, and what we need to do in this one is to extract the traits and then send it back to the client. And we send it back to the client with this function, with this receive character creation trait. I already set up these functions for us. Now, where do we get the traits? Actually, the traits are just an array, and they are available. They are available because they are in Cache Manager. So Cache Manager is holding all our traits, and what we need to do, I think there is a function which is so preload traits. Let me see if there is a function dedicated to this, or if we need to create it. Preload traits. So this one is the one that is loading the traits and is putting it actually into an array, which is this traits list. So what I have to search is traits list in the current document and see if there is already an accessor function or not. I see a get trait by ID, but it's not what we want. Or we make this generic, or get traits. No, maybe. No, it is actually in the public section, so we could access it directly. No, it's protected. Okay, it's protected. Okay, makes sense that it's protected anyway. So, okay, I see myself on YouTube now as well, so I think it should be restored properly. I will see what he recorded. He didn't record. But... okay, fine. So, we don't have any accessor. Let's make an accessor for this. It will just be a get traits list, nothing else than that. We should make it like when the protected ends. Yeah, there's a lot of function in this class. Absolutely, yes. This cache manager is the class that is holding the majority of our operations. So we can put it here, I think. And I think we can do a get. Even if I remember, I did a get traits for character creation, no? I have this feeling that I'm doing something that I did already. But if I did it, let me just check if I did it here. No, there is only this one. No, we didn't do it yet. I don't know. I had the feeling okay. I think we can just call it get traits, or we can say something like get all traits, get all available, get all traits, and I think we can extract this. Now there is a point which is important, which actually our traits are made in a way that they contain also the NPC traits, right? And in this case, in reality, we are working on the character creation, so we don't want the players to be able to access also the special faces or tattoos or whatever that we use on the NPC. So we have to decide if we want to filter it before sending it or not. but we will see. So get all traits. Yes, this one should be doing nothing else than return traits list. Why my IntelliSense is so slow that it doesn't do anything? Okay, I think it's called traits list, right? No, it's trait list. Come on, something like that. Okay, trait list. Perfect. So we just implement it this way. Just implement it this way, and then we call from our creation manager get all traits. Now we can just simply do it like this, but this will include also the NPC traits. So or we filter them client side, which could be an option, or we quickly parse them here and we send only. Maybe we can parse them here, you know. So I think it would be a good idea to parse them here. Why not? I think I can just, you know, remove from the array. So I can. So it is like all traits array, and then we can do something like I can just loop through it. No. I can just loop through it. I don't think it's a problem. So. Wait, sorry. So we just loop through it, and now the point is that we need to find the traits we need to find the traits that are not NPC only. So let's just get, I don't think I need a pointer. I think I can just do something like FPS trait equal to whatever, all traits of I. So we just loop, and then I think the trait as an NPC only. Right, an NPC only function. I don't remember if this is a boolean also. Yeah, it's a boolean. So I would say if trait NPC only NPC, then we should exclude this one. Okay. Then we should all traits. Now the only problem is that removing items while you are looping through an array may not be the best, because I don't know if this will really work properly, but hopefully yes. Is there a smarter remove? Removes as many instances the item everywhere in the array, maintaining the order but not the indexes. Yeah, exactly. So the indexes will change. So I think I just need to remove the element and gives the location option and shrinking. Yeah, it shrinks the array. So I think we need to decrement I after we remove the element. Otherwise, we will skip one element, you know, because there will be one element less. So let's say that I'm at the position number 3 and I remove the index number 3. By the way, is the index 0 based or not? I think it's 0 based. I remove the element number 3, then the next loop will be going to number 4, but actually number 3 now has another element. So I think we need to decrement I one time, just to be sure that we are. So we can do remove at I, and then we can do an minus minus. Wait, I need to do this. So we just ensure that we are scanning, you know, the element that was just swapped, because obviously there will be an element just swapped, right? So with that said, I think that we will. The problem is that at the moment we are actually changing this one, which is not what we want. Well, actually, this is not a pointer, so I guess that our traits in Cache Manager will stay the same, right? Because we are not returning a pointer, we are returning just a copy of the array, so I think it's fine. Okay, and so we just pass on these all traits to our function. So the point is that we have to call it on our client, and in particular we have to call it on the controller of this client. Now the question is why we don't pass in the controller to these functions. Would be a bit easier, so to avoid going through controller and not, but okay, anyway, fine. I just need okay. Oh, I don't have it here. So what we need oh, I don't have it anywhere. I don't have an example of that. Strange. But anyway, it's very simple. We can just get it from any other manager, and there are like yeah, exactly. We just need to cast it to PlaneShift player controller base, right? Because this one is our yeah. Okay. Anyway, so we do like this, and so this function will just send all the traits to the client. So what we are expecting after this is that our client is receiving the traits. Now I want to debug this a bit because I just want to be sure that the cache manager array is not getting butchered, and also that our array is proper. Now we need to see if in the database actually for traits we have at least one which is NPC only. No, we don't have one. I think we should make one that is an NPC only. So I don't know, this one, so that we can test, you know, if this is working or not. I will make at least one which is NPC only. Okay, so let's recompile, and all the stuff that he was doing before, which was this, is totally useless to us. And you see that he was doing the check for NPC only, and he was just, so all of this can completely go away. We don't need this code anymore, luckily for us. So we simplified the code quite a bit. Why doesn't like it? Because our trait list, that's why I didn't get much resistance then. Well, we have to parse it anyway, so maybe we can keep it. What if we keep it as a pointer here, but then because we have two ways now, so or we change all the code that is creating this stuff, not being a pointer but being an actual object, or when we are sending it to the client, since we have any way to parse this array and go through it, we just create a new one, right? Just create a new one. Why not? That's probably easier, so I have to change less code. So I think what I can do, so this one then will be this, you know, and I can create another one which is not which I will call it for client, right? So this one will be sent to the client and will be without a pointer, and I will cycle that. In this case I will have to do something different, so I will have to do this, and then this will become like this, and in this case, yes, it will be the opposite. So if it's not for NPC, then we will add to our array, right? We will do all traits for client, add, and we will add the point is that I need a copy of that, right? I need to be sure that it's not getting destroyed after I go out of this function, because if I just do add trait, I think it will not work, right? If I do the address of trait, no, I have to dereference it, I think, right? Yes, if I do this, it will give me the actual element. Now, I don't know if we will copy the element or we will just, I don't know. I don't know if we will just copy the element or if this add, because logically it works like this, but in practice, I don't think that, okay, anyway. Okay, let's try it like this. Let's see if it compiles first. But it's a bit simpler, you know, because it's basically filter the traits, removing the ones which are NPC only. Right, so that is what we are doing here. Let's see if it compiles, and then we just debug it and see if that is still working okay. I also want to see if the loading of the traits is still fine, because we did this change of types, and we have a full loader which is loading the traits from the database. I just want to see if it's still fine. Maybe I can change the variable names to be capitalized a bit, because it's not very easy to read at the moment. Yeah, it succeeded, so let me just change it so it's nicer to read. Okay, anyway, it succeeded, so I think we can run it in debug mode and see when we arrive here. Well, first of all, I need to call this function, though, because I'm not calling it from the editor at the moment. I'm not calling it at all. So I need to, okay, let me just wait till it compiles, and when it's compiling, before it launches it, I will just stop it. Okay, it's launching it now. And we launch the editor, and we just ensure that we are calling that function, otherwise nothing will happen, I guess. Boys! Hello, whoever joined, welcome to the stream. If you want to say make yourself known, just say hello in the chat. We are working on an MMO, and in particular we are working on porting our existing MMO to Unreal. And at the moment I'm working on the character creation options and the traits that we need to set on our character, on character creation. Okay, so what we need to do in our creation screen, which is this one, right? As soon as this screen pops up, I would like to ask the server for all the available traits. So we can do it in the construct if we want, or we can do it. Well, we can do it in the construct. I don't know exactly if the construct happens immediately or I think is happening. Let me check. When I click on create new character, I think it's happening here. I think I create a widget here. Yes, create character creation widget. So I think it's perfect. I think we can do it here. It's fine. The only problem is that if the player will click back and forth many times, every time he clicks, we will request the full traits list to the server, but I don't know. I think it's fine. I mean, I don't see it as a big issue. Hello, Jet. Hi. I had some issue with my connection, but now it seems that it is restored, so it seems that everything is working okay. So what do we do here in the construct? The construct is fine. What we need to do, we need to call, yes, in our Planeship player controller, we need to call request traits, which for some reason is not available. Why? Because it's called request character creation traits. Okay, fine. So we call this function, and we just need to be sure that we call this function server side. So let's not do the typical mistake of so let's go in the player controller, and do we have a character creation? I think we should make it, otherwise it will become harder and harder to manage. So let's make a new graph, and we will call it character creation. And in this new graph, let me see if there is something that I can actually move from the other graphs, because there is a lot here, and maybe if we can make it a bit lighter, it's not too bad. You see how many freaking functions we have here? It's like 1 million. Chat message, talk interaction, upload a character. For example, this one, path screens. Yes, this one is something that we can move. This one we can move to character creation. Is not liking this. Receive path info. Is here, boy. Okay, I think I just need to call it again, because maybe the fact that we copy pasted it didn't like it. It's fine. Okay. So this one is fine. Then we should move also this other one, which is upload character, which is a pretty big one. I think all of this we can move to character creation. Boom. Yeah, it's just a matter of organizing a bit our also this one it doesn't like, because what happened? Holy moly, what happened? It happened that this part was this part was there, but he overlapped, and so he went down there. Okay. This one I think we also need to call again. Character uploaded, and we need to connect to the same stuff. Hopefully target is us, right? Is the Planeship player controller, so it should be no problem. Yes. Yeah, when you copy paste between graphs, this happens because it's basically not finding this function that is here below. But okay, so we moved a bit of the stuff from the main graph to here, which I'm happy because it's something that is simplifying the organization of the code. Definitely. So let's see what we have. We have also a delete character. I think we can also move this one. You know, it's not exactly character creation, but is let's say anyway in the context of the main menu, and is the character selection. So maybe we can call it character selection and character creation. I will move this one as well, and if possible, I will put it here. Okay. We have the same thing to redo, the character deleted. But it's fairly easy. We just connect this, and remove this one. Okay. Let's call it character select / create. Okay. So is for both. Do we have other stuff in this graph that we can actually remove? You see, we left finally a bit more space. Yes, we have all the generated names. All this stuff is all something that we can move to the other side. Okay, so let's take all of this and move it like up here. Boom. Does this one have any errors? No, this one seems to be fine. And then we also take this one, which is the receive generated name, because you can generate a random name and okay, you get information from the server. Okay, so we split that. I'm pretty happy. So that our graph now on this side is easier. What is this thing doing? This thing, I think we need to leave it where it is. Okay, so with this stuff we will leave it here. Let me see if there is other character creation stuff. This is the spawn of the character. Well, the spawn of the character could be there as well. All the rest is talk interaction and other interaction. This is not going to. So the character description. Why this one is empty? Get query list, get quest list, click on the quest list. These are all quests. Also this stuff we could move it to a quest graph, but there is inventory, exchange, stat skills, character skill value, trading, merchant, player money, sell items, craft something, receive command, banking. Wow, we did already a lot of stuff. Huh? Exchange, spellbook, glyph sequence. We should do a magic. There is actually a magic in combat. Why this magic in combat is fully empty? I mean, I created it, but then I didn't move the stuff. Because all this stuff that is about magic, I think we can move it. Like spellbook, I mean all of this. Problem is that doing it now is okay. We can do it now. I'm not scared. Actually, I'm a bit scared because all of this we will have to retest. But receive spellbook on client. Okay. We should remember that I did this change and just be sure that we are not messing up. If something is not working, it may be due to what I'm doing now. But I think it's very good to split it, you know, to split it in. It's a bit annoying that when you. No. You have to paste far away, otherwise. Receive glyphs on client. Receive glyphs on client. Okay, so we fixed that as well. Why I'm doing this? Just to organize better our graphs, because at the moment our graphs are very messy. And I think we need to make it a bit simpler. A bit more organized, not simple, a bit more organized. Okay, this is what happens when I... okay. Anyway, there are only these two things to move. This. So when you paste, it's kind of going above it. Okay, so we have a receive assembler. Receive assembler, I guess there is only one, yes. And this receive assembler should be connected this way. Perfect. Perfect, and this one is fine already. Let me just see if he compiles, so if he gives any error. No, he compiles. Okay, good. Is there anything related to magic? No, there is a attack and loot and trade. Okay, so I think we uncluttered our attack. We can put it on magic in combat. Okay, so now we have a magic and combat event graph. We have the main event graph, okay, which is fine. And then we have a guilds one and a character selection. Okay, good. So yeah, what I was saying is that we can decide to call. We need to add a new method here, which is related to sending traits. So we can have a new event. So we do add event, new event, and this one will be called request traits, or character creation traits. I think it's probably a better name. And this one will be replicated and run on server and reliable, right? So we want this to be executed on the server side. Now, do we need any parameters? I would say no. No parameters. No parameters. So this one, let me just compile, is the one that we need to call from the other side. So we don't need to call this, but we actually need to call request char creation traits. And what this will do for us, and yes, we have to call it on this particular player controller. What this will do for us is that we will be switching between the client side and the server side. Right? So now we will be playing server side. And now that we are on the server side, what we can do, we can actually call that function that I was showing before, which is request traits. Right? The fact that they have the same name, it should not be a problem, because one is on, where they're actually both on player controller, and they are called exactly the same. Let me rename it like I did for some of the others on PC, on player controller, right? Okay, so this will be this, this will be this. Now this one will request our traits. Traits for character creation screen. And after we do this, actually we will receive an answer. The answer will be asynchronous, so we cannot just connect, this pin to something and have a return value there, because the server will work on it and then will give us an answer as soon as it's ready, but doesn't mean that it's let's say instant. So we need to, yeah, need to check that. Let me compile and see what happens. Okay, everything seems to be fine. Now, we want to catch the answer. So the answer is when we call receive character creation traits, this one. So one is request and the other is receive. So this is what we did. You see that it exists already. So since we added it to the C++, now we have it in our graph, and we are now receiving this. Now the point is that this one is server side. Okay, don't be fooled by that, but this one is server side, so we need to create another one which is client side, so which I will call receive char creation traits on client. I think I did it pretty much the same for all the other events. This one will have one input parameter which is actually called traits, and will be of type trait structure. PS traits array, right? PS traits array. So this one should be run on owning client and should be reliable, okay, because we want to switch server to client. And so this will be receive char creation traits on client. This will just connect this. Okay, so this piece is basically sending the request client to server and getting the answer server to client. Okay, so now we have our stuff here ready, our traits ready to be read from the client side. And should be only the one that have been filtered. So now we need to send these traits to the right window, because at the moment we are inside the PlaneShift player controller, but we want to send it to our widget, right? And the widget is actually this one. So the character creation race. So this means, well, how we access it? Yeah, I think we should send it. Why not? Let's send it to this guy. Because we could read it directly from PlaneShift player controller, right, all the time. But I think it's good if this window is keeping the reference to that. I think it makes sense that it keeps the reference, right? Yes. So I'm just thinking, because the other way would be just to do PlaneShift player controller get traits. I think a local variable is cleaner, though, if you think about it. I think if this window has its own data, managing its own data, and not going to the PlaneShift player, yeah, I think it's better. No, we need to put it on this one. So on this one, we need first of all to have a variable, a new variable. We already have a lot of stuff, but we will have another variable which will be called character traits, and character traits will be of type trait and will be an array, so exactly the same that we are getting from the other side, right? Now we need to have a pointer to this window to be able to access it from the player controller, otherwise it will not work. So to do that, oops, 1 second. So to do that, we need a new variable on our player controller which is pointing to this window. I don't think we have it at the moment, or let me see. Character creation quick, character creation race. Yeah, I think we have it. It's this one. Character creation race. I think this one is pointing because it's pointing to character creation race. And character creation race is exactly this one. Yeah, okay, we have it already. Perfect. So that's much easier then. So since we have the reference already, what we can do, we are already in player controller. So we just get this reference to my window, and I'm client side now, so I'm not messing up with that. And I can say to set, just have to make this variable visible to the outside like this and recompile. And then I can from here just call set character traits and send this stuff here. Okay, so now we have not only received the answer from the server, but we also have stored this information on the proper window, right? On the proper window. So I will just compile and save it, right? And I would say now we can test it. I mean, we can just test the fact that we are receiving the proper information, client side. Maybe what we can do, we can just print out the length of the, yeah, let's do this. So we also have a visual feedback of the fact that we received the number of traits. Actually, the traits that we are receiving at the moment in our dummy database should be 3. So we should have 3 traits sent from the server to the client. Okay. Let me just print out just as a debug, okay? I would just print out the length of this guy, and I would just call it something like traits received. Okay, so traits received, and then we put the length here and we connect here. Okay, so we will remove it later, but it just as a simple debug to say that we properly received that. Okay, I think I did all the steps, if I'm not mistaken, so I think we can launch it. I would like to debug this piece just to see if my values are correct. So let's launch it in debug mode and we will see. So let it give a second to compile and start. We have some errors here on the console, but those are fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's not that they are fine, but we know what is causing them, so it's not a problem at the moment. They are not messing up with what we are doing. So it's perfectly fine. Okay. By the way, for the new guys joining the stream, we are migrating our old MMO to Unreal Engine. And if you want to follow on Twitch and YouTube, that will help me, because I know there is a number of followers that you need to have, and then something happens. In the sense that YouTube enables you to additional stuff and Twitch the same, and so the more people that are actually subscribed to the, I mean, just click on follow on Twitch and click on like and subscribe on YouTube. It's free, so you can just click it. Okay, so let's launch the client, and now I want to see. And if you have any question on what I'm doing, and I mean, what is the game, or just ask. Okay, don't. I mean, you can keep the interaction on. It's no problem. I can speak and continue to do what I'm doing. Okay, so we are launching our client now. What I'm expecting is that as soon as I click on character creation, our breakpoint is triggering, and we will be able to see what happens there. Right? So, okay, we got a trigger already, but this is not the trigger we wanted to hit. Okay, fine. So this was the previous breakpoint that we put when we were populating the character list. Now the client is still loading a bit, so we don't see it. Okay, it is. Now I click on create new character, right? Even if I already have 4 characters, maybe we should. Okay, anyway, you should do a check. You see, as soon as I clicked it, it came here. So first we want to see if we have all the 4 traits. Yes, the 4 traits are here, which is very nice. Then I go through all the 4, and I guess I never exit from this loop. Okay, fine. Why? Because I kept the -1, 1. Ah, mistakes were made. Okay, yeah, there was a mistake. I had to remove. I needed to remove this that -1, the decrement of I, because it was for the previous logic and not for this logic. So basically, that for loop will never exit. Hello, Lavanaut. Hey, thanks for chatting and watching. Yes, we are migrating to Unreal Engine. I think Unreal Engine is giving us so much new capabilities and possibilities. So it's also because the old engine is basically dying. It's not, maintained anymore, and Crystal Space, I mean, is not maintained anymore. It's a very old engine, and now we really needed to move on. I mean, the porting is a bit of a daunting task. I mean, a very, very big and time-consuming job, but we're going to do it anyway. And we are actually, at a good point now. So we did already a lot of the basics. So all the core pieces of the game are actually migrated and working. There is still a lot to do, but at least the core is there, and I see the light, at the end of the tunnel somehow. Maybe I don't see the light yet, but I hear the noise that there is a light somewhere. I hear some noises at the end of the tunnel. So it's going okay, I would say. It's going okay. But it's a very big task. Consider that we have about 1 million lines of code in the old plane shift. And we are not going to migrate them all. And obviously the 1 million lines of code is excluding the 3D part, by the way, excluding the 3D engine. But we are not going to port them all, but I ported about 150,000 at the moment, probably a bit more. I mean, I didn't recalculate it recently, but a few months ago was about 150,000 lines of code. So, and I don't know how many we will need. Maybe we'll need like 300,000. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, so here is our character. Now we want to create a new one. So I click on create new. We arrive here. Now this loop should actually properly finish after 4 cycles, exactly like it did. So let me check if there's all traits for client. Yes, this seems to be okay. This seems to be okay. So let it run. Let's let it run. And boom. It crashed. Why it crashed? Didn't like it, huh? Receive character creation traits. Why do it doesn't like that? Ah, stupid me. Okay, another mistake. We need to do client, and then we need to do get controller, and then this one will be cast to my Planeship Player Controller base, which then has this class, right? Okay. Yeah, there was a small mistake there. She's fine. So I think that now it should be okay. Okay, you try to create your own game. Nice. It's all in blueprint is no problem. I mean, the fact that you have you are all in blueprints is fine. I mean, you can have your dedicated server set up and then go in full blueprints anyway. I think you will have at least to compile. I mean, the minimum C++ I think you need, because you need to create, your server side, but it should be fine. I mean, it should be okay. The switch between client and server side is something that I struggled a lot at the beginning, and I was doing some weird stuff, and there is still some stuff of that in my code today. So like the generation of the name is done the old way, so you have this weird these ones like server handle name, client handle name, there is this underscore implementation, all that stuff, which I thought it was the way, but then I realized there is a much easier way, which is the one that I just used a few minutes ago in the blueprints, and now I'm only using that, and it's much easier, because it's it's a bit more verbose on the blueprint, because you have to do this switch client server, all the time, but it's perfectly fine. It's much easier than going and doing the other stuff. So. And by the way, I'm really learning as well, in the sense that I'm not an expert of Unreal, and this streams doesn't want to be, like an educational or a tutorial of any kind. So we're just going through stuff as I find it, and so it means that I may end up with why throw the exception again? Why client is 0? No, client cannot be 0, boys. What do you mean? Wait a second. No way. Yeah, in reality, he's right, as usual, in the sense that we have a controller, but we don't have yet a pawn. We don't have yet a pawn. Because at the moment we are in the character creation, so we don't have yet a character loaded in game. But it's okay. I think we can just do it slightly differently. It's very quick to change. Yeah, he's right, because when we did this line, we return null. This line will return null. So I think what we can do, we can just pass in a player controller to this function. Who cares? Who cares? I think we are fine. I think we can. So instead of character creation manager, right? Instead of this, we will just have a Planeship player controller base. Why not? Should be fine. I mean, the player controller should be valid, otherwise I would not even be able to enter into this function, right? So I will call it like PS controller, and in this case will be simpler because we will just do